Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to our live video tonight. There'll be no music. It's going to be a serious one. We're going to have some conversations because we need to unhinge this narrative quickly before it gets any more ground. I had to unfriend a couple people today who bind government narrative, government spin. And I want to tell you, I remember when George W. Bush was the president of the United States after 9/11, he started this narrative. You're either with us or you're with the terrorists. And that's not the choices. That's not the only choices. It cannot be your support, you're against COVID-19 or you support PNM. That's madness. The people that are responsible for where we are tonight is that Prime Minister, Keith Christopher Rowley. And I'll give you the information for that. I went searching, the reason this didn't start at 9 o'clock, I went searching for the date of the first press conference, and that was the 16th of March. The 16th of March. I want to give you two timelines, side by side. Two timelines, side by side. December 31st. Pay attention, eh? And this, tag anybody who's suddenly conscious. Tag anybody who's sober up from Carnival, who was posing in every fete, talking about coronavirus. No, we gotta fix it. Tag them. Because this is for them. This is for all the PNM supporters who still feel that we should have started to treat with this virus on the 16th of March 2020, because that's when Trinidad showed up to deal with COVID-19. The 16th of March. On December 31st, 2019, Chinese health officials informed the World Health Organization about a cluster of 41 patients with a mysterious pneumonia. Most are connected to Huanan Seafood Wholesale Market. Huanan Seafood Wholesale Market closes January 1st, 2020. January 1st, 2020, we had Soca on Sand, first jam at Hazley Crawford Stadium, first pump pool party, the Hidden Garden, St. Joseph. January 7th, 2020, Chinese authorities identify a new type of coronavirus called novel coronavirus, or NCOV. January 7th, well, we have January 5th, French toast breakfast party, carnival brunch crunch, Socalize, Up on Your Cooler, Zille Cooler 5, and on Friday, January 10th, we had Vibes and Chaser Cooler Fete. January 11th, China records its first death. Sunday, January 12th, we had Tribe Hydrate in O2 Park, Cocktails, Brunch and Soca at the Gardens, Queen's Hall, Port of Spain. Second Sunday, the Golden Fatiset, Fatima College Grounds, Soca Sunset, Canbule, San Fernando, Soca in Mocha 20 Fun, Trinity Courts, Marabal. January 13th, first corona case outside of China is reported in Thailand. January 20th, first US case is reported, a 35-year-old man in Snohomish County, Washington. January 20th. January 20th in Trinidad. Well, we had a band of it. We had Just Bring It on January 15th. Iron Park Soca Arts and Music Festival Day 1, January 17th. Biatch Carnival Cooler Cruise Harbour Master. Saturday, January 18th, we had Experience the Future Carnival Upmarket Soca and Music Festival Day 2. Soca had 5 fetes this carnival. Day 2. One Fete, Queen's Park Oval, Chutney Soca Monarchs semi-finals. Sunday, January 19, 2020, Soca Till Sunrise, Soca Arts and Music Festival, Day 3. January 23rd, Wuhan is placed under quarantine. Hubei province follows within days. That was January 23rd. January 24th in Trinidad, we had Out in South Carnival Cooler Experience and Rise Carnival Fete at Trinidad Country Club. January 30th, 2020, the World Health Organization declares a global public health emergency. 1 month before Carnival, Trinidad's Ministry of Health got up. You know that part in the movie when shit about to happen? You type in, Mr. Minister, you have to see this. Because the World Health Organization declares a global public health emergency on January 30th, 2020. What did Trinidad and Tobago do? We gave them a middle finger because we had Focus Cooler Fete, Unleash the Colors of Carnival, Festival of Colors, Street Festival, Paint Asylum, Buko Bacchanal Breakfast, Wild Cooler Breakfast Party, UE Fete 2020 White Diamonds, Straight Out of Belmont, Carnival Cooler, Show with your cooler, get GTC Colors of Carnival, Mad Ants, Core Cooler Experience, Soca Spree 2020 where stars align, Luau Blocko. That's January. So now, we know it on CNN, it on Fox, it on MSNBC, the world talking. We're hearing all kind of information that there is something happening in the world. But when the World Health Organization put out that declaration, Trinidad was supposed to take it seriously. On the 31st of January, the United States of America did something unprecedented. And that is, President Trump signed an executive order banning foreign nationals from entering the United States if they were in China the prior 2 weeks. I remember when that story was announced. I remember when that story was announced and the whole world was in shock because we thought America was going to war with China. You just ban travel between China and America or anybody who's been in China. February the 2nd, 2020, the first death outside China is recorded in the Philippines. What were we doing on the 2nd? We didn't party on the 2nd. February 7th, Chinese whistleblower Li Wenliang dies. That was another massive story. We had art form, the Nadia Batson and SAS Experience, Lyrical and Friends, Estate 101 Maraval, and Faluma, Alison Hines and Friends at Woodford Cafe, Chaguanas. Friday, February 7th, we had Bacchanal Boat, Cruise with the Saints, Frazzle Friday Jam, Rosé and the Ladies Fete, and Soca with Her 2020, Hasely Crawford Stadium. February 9th, 2020, death toll in China surpasses that of the 2002-2003 SARS epidemic with 811 deaths recorded. That's in 1 month. And in that month, we totally ignored what was going on in the world. Because to February 9th, we had Bacchanalia Roadblock, Rise and Roast, Bacchanal Brunch, Beach House, One Faith, One Family, Prime All Inclusive, Party in the Glen, QRC Fete Royale, Alternative Comedy Festival, Bacchanalia, Illusions Blocko, Chutney Soca Monarch 25th Anniversary, I Love Choker, Paramount Melee, and Toast Ignite. Sunday, February 9th, we had the Uprising, Dream Carnival Fete, National Panorama semi-finals, Bacchanal Sunday, Bacchanalia, Bacchanal Road, Sip and Sail, Carnival, Cooler Cruise, Sherwin-Lowell's Ultra Premium, all-inclusive, UE Splash 5, the epitome of splash. We not taking nobody on. We not taking nobody on. You know what I'm telling you? The world is on fire and we fetting. We ain't taking nobody on. So let me deal with Sunil here. Our next fake profile. Let me see how much friends Sunil have. None. Sunil, well, you have less than none now. As if he was following me. And Sunil follows my public posts. February 12th. No, February 11, 2020. This is the timeline, eh? February 11, 2020. World Health Organization announces that the new coronavirus disease will be called COVID-19. And that happened on February 11th, 2020. On February, we had one and only Hotel Normandy, St. Anne's. On February 12th, coronavirus cases start to spike in South Korea. We still have 2 weeks away from Carnival. February 19, 2020, Iran outbreak begins. Between the 12th and February 19th, we had Skinny Fabulous, Fam Jam, Senior King and Queen Prelims, Good Vibes Only, Trinidad Love Boat, Lookout, Shutdown Carnival, Newtown Boys and Girls, AWL, Ultraviolet, Blacklight Cooler Cruise, Chamke Ultimate Chutney Cooler Cruise, Arima Boys, Roman Catholic, The Roll Call, Army Fete, Cooler Park Carnival, Carnival Cups 2020, Firefest, Dirty Carnival, Rep Your Band and Cooler Cruise, Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Children's Carnival. Frazzles Saturday, the Ultimate Carnival Cooler Cruise, Fatima College All-Inclusive, Victoria Gardens All-Inclusive, Chutney Land, Night Shift, Nurses All-Inclusive, Swapton Saturday, Blue Range All-Inclusive, Soca Cooler, Rewind, We Vibe Zing, and a Backyard Jam. B-Soca, Jam Nation, Addiction 2020, Bon Voyage, Dirty Brunch 2020, The Old Yard, White and Anything Cooler Boat Ride 9, Soca Wrap-Up, Vibe Secret Hideaway, CCFP, Trinidad Carnival Fundraiser, People with Class 2020, Fruit Bunch Carnival, Red, White and Blue, Sundeck Carnival, Sexiest Party, Wet and Wild, Dirty in Color, Wild, Mendez Drive, Defense Force Reserve Semi-Inclusive, Oneness, the Party 2020, Twin Walls All-Inclusive, Lavish, Second Annual All-Inclusive, Exotica the Carnival, Kairi People Different All-Inclusive, Got Soca 2020, Yellow Fever, we even making joke about coal, MFET 2020, the Movement, Rum Punch and Lunch, Pirate Parts 5, Marshall Monday 2020, the Wedding, Drive, Glow, Levitate. What date we on? At this point I lost. February 21st. February 19th. We ain't reached there. February 19th. Thursday, February 18th. We have Pre-Dawn, Pond de Grasse, Joker's Wild Tropical Cooler Cruise, Cape Pire Carnival Cooler Cruise, Creme de la Creme Carnival Illuminate, Veil Vibe Carnival 2020, Blissful All-Inclusive, Tuesday on the Rocks, Rhythm of Life, PNM Red Fete. Wednesday, February 9th. Wednesday, February 19th, Scorch Duck Work DDI Cooler, Duty Free Cooler Cruise, Hyatt Lime, the Ultimate Lime Experience, W at the Residence, Mental, Chili Jungle Juice, Premium Drinks Inclusive, Midnight, Fete Lovers, Splash on Land, David Rudder, Good Vibes, Deja Vu on the Water, 9th Annual Coffee Boys, Trinidad Carnival Fete, Trinidad Tobago Coast Guard Wet Fete, Enigma Carnival is Cooler, Punchy Wednesday, Book of Legends, Soca is Life, TNT. March 8th, no, February 29th, February 21st, 2020, Italy outbreak begins. We are now 3 days from Carnival Sunday. And all the people who quoting to you, all of the numbers that are happening in Italy, couldn't give a wet, foul rat's ass about it then. Because them was linking and selfieing. Because I tell you, my newsfeed was full. Some of the same people that out there now wanting to scrub the nation with Clorox and black disinfectant, couldn't give a rat's ass. Let it burn down, boys, carnival. What's wrong with you? We say, hey, stop the carnival, postpone the man, he mad. Don't be doing all them cruise and thing. Watchmen, close the borders. Let we just get past this and we can do carnival again. Boy, you're crazy or what, boy? This is whining season. You know the stage gone bad and all that drama. All that drama. February 29, U.S. reports first death on American soil. We pass carnival. March 8, 2020, Italy places all 60 million residents on lockdown. March 11, 2020, World Health Organization declares the outbreak a pandemic. March 11, 2020, President Trump bans all travel from 26 European countries. March 13, 2020, a United States national emergency is declared over the novel coronavirus outbreak. We get our first press conference, March 16th. We've had 3 since. We've had 3. You know what we've not had? While you watch the news and they talk to you about the governors and the mayors and the congressmen and what they're doing in their constituencies for their people, all around the world, when you look at it, what you're dealing with is mayors and congressmen and members of parliament. In Trinidad and Tobago, according to Alberta Stacey Perdine, 41 constituencies, not one MP has spoken to his or her constituents and addressed them on the current global pandemic. Alberta is the PEP caretaker for San Juan Barataria. Not one of the 41 members of parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, not one of the members of parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, not one mayor has called a press conference, not one, nobody from the leadership of this country, other than a prime minister and a handful of political imitators. Not one MP has spoken to his or her constituents and addressed them on the current global pandemic and informed them who are the medical professionals in each constituency that can be contacted in the event symptoms of the COVID-19 is shown. How about we implement testing in all 41 constituencies so a team of trained medical persons can begin testing the MP constituents and the virus can be dealt with accordingly to eliminate the possible spread of this pandemic from person to person. And why, in a crisis situation like this, the president is being dormant? She's asking some really salient questions, and I want to know, where are all of our members of parliament? Where are all of our members of parliament? March 17, 2020, a leaked federal plan warns the new coronavirus pandemic will last 18 months or longer and may come in multiple waves of infections. March 17, 2020, Italy reports 475 COVID-19 deaths, the highest single death toll for any country since the outbreak began. The point that I wanted to make, and that I have made succinctly. So I'm watching people, and you know who else I'm watching? I'm watching people defending this government stunt that they come out and jump out on the 16th of March to acknowledge this virus for the first time. On the 16th of March was the first time that they acknowledged that there was a pandemic in the world. On the 16th of March. And some of the people who are on my wall trying to defend the bullshit this government doing would have jumped over one another to kick Kamala in the face if Kamala was doing the same shit this government doing. So they're nasty and they're hypocritical, and that not flying with me. It's not flying with me. Because the questions have to be asked, and I want to say this, and you have to know this. This is fact. And I wrote it, I never shared it, and I'm going to say it. Somebody said today, you cannot collapse a health system that is already collapsed. Your ministers say that they warn people don't go on no cruise while you open the whole country and invite the world in to climb up all over we Bamsi, wind up all on we head, drip the sweat down and we rum and Bobby, and all of we drinking that nice and laughing because the devil could take tomorrow. Well, guess what? It's tomorrow and the devil has come to collect. So the nation, lockdown, shut down, and your government do not want to risk testing anybody who did not travel because they will find that we are linking carnival to and their handling of coronavirus. So if you tell me it's imported, and I hear you, all 9 imported, if you tell me all 9 imported, I hear you. But then I ask you, if you had shut the freaking borders when we asked you to, If you had closed the airports when we knew that there was a global pandemic burning down around the world, where Italy had 30,000 cases, Iran was falling apart, Spain was falling apart, China was in a mess, we didn't know, people was feeding people from bamboo poles. When we knew all that was going on, why didn't you shut the borders then so none would have been imported? None. Zero. None homegrown, none imported. Why? Why? And we will need lawyers to seek judicial review of this government. We need to go to the courts and ask the courts to assess the government's handling. Because to you who think that what they're doing is handling it, they're not. They tell you, cock your ass home. They've put the responsibility on you. They've told small businessmen, try and find a way to pay workers. They put the responsibility for the economy on them. They've done nothing. They've given themselves a tax holiday. They've taken money from the Heritage and Stabilization Funds for God alone knows what. They've dropped the repo rate. They say they put $2.75 billion in the economy, and TNTech still cutting people lights. So what exactly are we doing? And what exactly are you defending? If I saw a government that was actually functional, that was giving the people, if you call a press conference and the purpose of the press conference is to say there are people on social media taking it a task for hiding, for playing hide and seek with the information and giving us the updates 11:59 at night. You come out and you say, we will give you an update at 10 and we will give you an update at 4, and you never have. You come out and you say, we will give people support and financial support. You never have. The people went to all the offices that you say that they should go, and they have nobody there. You give them a list, a hotline numbers to call, and nobody answering. So what it is you're supporting? What it is you're defending? You want us to pull together and what? Dead together? You want us to pull together and sink? And to the very rich, stay off my wall. It's easy to say we will ride through this when your belly full, your fridge full, and your wallet full. There have a lot of people in this country that none of those things apply to, that are suffering normally. Our public health is a shithole under normal circumstances. You're going to add COVID to that? Why you pick up people from a cruise ship and take them to Balandra? Nobody in Hyatt. Nobody in Crown Plaza. Why you didn't park the boat up and use the boat? The cruise ship owners don't need it. You could have made it a floating hospital. Why you didn't do that? Why they had to drive through the whole country and go to Toko and Balandra? It was Know Your Country tour. What was the plan there? Bertram Patram, listen, go and press unfriend and block me because I will block you. If I lost you on this one, kiss my ass. Go and buy a brain. The points that I am raising is important. And don't put aside your critical thinking. It is the absolute responsibility of the people in this democracy to hold that government to account. Any government. And if you are not doing it, take responsibility for why we are a shithole today. Because for 57 years, they've been robbing and raping and thieving and doing what the hell they like. And jackasses like Mr. Pitzram or whatever his name is, coming to tell people, Patsam, Bertram Patsam, coming to tell people. And when you go and you scratch at their profile, if I go and open Bertram Patsam profile right now and see who's his friends in common and where he's getting money from, chances are 99 out of 100 dripping from them out. Trough. They're eating in the public trough. Or they're benefiting from a contract, mafia contract. So they don't want nobody to talk. It is the duty of every citizen in this democracy to stand up. You know what I hate too? I hate the people who escape this shithole. Where does Bertram live? I will tell you now. Because I want to deal with all of that. Lives in Washington, D.C. Bertram Patsam said I lost him. I lost his vote. But he lives in Washington, D.C. Bertram Patsam, miss me with your bullshit. Stop trolling. Stop coming to Trinidad's posts and tell Trinidadians to put up with shithole while you live in a first world country. You escaped Trinidad. At least have the decency to watch the rest of us treading water in this cesspool and respect us for trying. Don't play the ass. I am the wrong man for all your shit. I'll block you. You'll never see a post of mine again. Trinidad and Tobago, it is the duty of every citizen in a democracy. It is the duty of every citizen in a democracy to hold their government to account. Make no mistake. It is the duty of every citizen. It is the first responsibility of every citizen to question authority. Einstein said, unthinking respect for authority is the greatest enemy of truth. It makes sense to respect some authority. Benjamin Franklin said, it is the first responsibility of every citizen to question authority. I want to give you Eric Williams on Independence Night. I want to give you his speech. I want the trolls to hear me. I want the PNM trolls to hear the father of the nation. Fellow citizens, it is a great honor to me to address this morning the nation. Your parliament has been the first responsibility that devolves upon you is the protection and the promotion of your democracy. You'll ever hear Eric Williams talk? That's how we start. Democracy means more, much more than the right to vote, and one vote for every man and every woman of the prescribed age. Democracy means a recognition of the rights of others. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education, in the public service, and in private employment. I repeat, and in private employment. Democracy means the protection of the weak against the strong. Democracy means the obligation of the minority to recognize the right of the majority. Democracy means responsibility of the government to its citizens, the protection of the citizens from the exercise of arbitrary power and the violation of human rights, human freedoms, and individual rights. Democracy means freedom of worship for all and the subordination of the right of any race to the overriding right of the human race. Democracy means freedom of expression and assembly of organization. All that is democracy. All that is our democracy, to which I call upon all citizens to dedicate themselves on this, our Independence Day. This is what I meant when I gave the nation the slogan for all time: discipline, production, tolerance. Indiscipline, whether individual or sectional, is a threat to democracy. Slacking on the job. Read this. But that democracy finally rests on a higher power than Parliament. I want the PNM trolls to hear the words of their founder, Eric Williams. It rests on an informed and cultivated and alert public opinion. The members of Parliament are only representatives of the citizens. They cannot represent apathy and indifference. They can play the part allotted to them only if they represent intelligence and public spiritedness. That's it. Whatever the challenge that faces you, from whatever quarter, hear this now, man. Hear this, and then go in a corner and slap all yourself silly for having the audacity to come with what became of the PNM. And just Google Eric Williams' independence speech. Whatever the challenge that faces you, like COVID-19, from whatever quarter, place always first that national interest and the national cause. The strength of the nation depends on the strength of its citizens. Our national anthem invokes God's blessings on our nation. In response to those thousands of citizens for all faiths who demanded God's protection in our Constitution, let us then as a nation so conduct ourselves as to be able to always say, in those most noblest and most inspiring words of St. Paul, by the grace of God, we as a people are what we are, and his grace in us hath not been void. So you love him or you hate him. But Eric Williams, his admonition to the nation is the living description of what I do. So don't come on my wall and tell me, especially if you escape Trinidad and Tobago, living in a first world and developed nation while we treading water in a shithole, don't come to tell me, but I lost your support. Take that support, fold it up tight, and put it where the sun don't shine. We have a country that has failed because people who were supposed to stand up for it failed to stand up for it. People who were supposed to make noise when noise was supposed to be made went silent. Some ran away. Some gone to foreign lands and defending the bullshit that destroyed it, that chased them in the first place. The government's mishandling of coronavirus is why we have 49 people now and climbing. Because today is day 6 of isolation. Veronica Charles. I tell you earlier, I'm not eating nice right now. I'm living in a country where the jackasses, the stupid, insipid jackasses are calling for a state of emergency. The jackasses who are benefiting from the mismanagement of the country, who were supposed to be calling for a closing of the nation's borders, a securing of the nation's borders 10 years now, so nobody would have no gun to come and invade their house. The man I tell all you who cussed me outside the bank end up living next door to the people in Goodwood Gardens who they went in the house with guns and tie up the family and rob them. Now look how ironic that is. So a friend of his, a mutual friend of ours, messaged me to tell me he is a good guy. And I said, well, listen, I don't hold people in mind, you know. People could be a jackass today and good tomorrow, and I good tomorrow too. I have been a jackass enough times in my life. I never hold on myself to be some paragon of virtue. I am just a citizen trying my very best to use everything at my disposal to rescue my country from madness. It's mad. This is a mad land. The world was on fire, and we jump and whine for 2 days in town. And then have the audacity to be lecturing other people. You see, this is a mad place. All the people who talk about Shannon Banfield, oh good, oh God, oh Lord, Shannon's still dead. Nobody calling for an investigation into Shannon's murder. She dead. All they must be hear some underhand story, and that's all they do, float a story. Asami, what's the story for Asami? How come all they let Asami go? How come all they care about Asami? But if it's your mother or your sister or your wife or your daughter, you're holding your head and you're bawling, and you want to know why Trinidad is taking everybody on, why we don't take this shit serious. Look what happening when the wolf reached your door. Well, I want to tell you something. Wolves are outside now. Because the coronavirus, COVID-19, it's microns small. And it's not the only thing that's happening right now in this failed nation. And if we had proper systems set up, and I am not saying it's easy to deal with, and I am not saying it's a walk in the park, but I am saying we had a heads up. By the time it hit Italy, we got that as a lesson. We found out when it hit Italy and Iran and Spain, and that was in February. We knew. Italy didn't know. Spain didn't know what was coming. Germany didn't know what was coming. We knew. This wasn't a normal time in the year, you know. We could have played the ass April, May, June, July, August, September, all those months. October, play the ass. November, get on like a jackass. December. But you see, from the time January, February, March hit, you see them 3 months? That is when people come to Trinidad to wine on Bamsi. And we had to know that there was transmission. We knew the Ministry of Health was getting updates. World Health Organization activated CARPHA. So people asking me, what would you do? What would I do? I would have cancelled Carnival. I would have shut the nation's borders. I would have declared a medical emergency. I would have used every resource available to source ventilators and masks. I wouldn't be sending our masks to China for a stunt. I would have been putting the nation to work making more masks. We'd have been getting ready. And if we had survived it, we'd have sent it all to Jamaica and Barbados and St. Kitts and Antigua and St. Lucia. We'd be giving advice to CARICOM. We'd have called an emergency CARICOM meeting. We'd have said, let's secure the region. But we was paying attention to Carnival. And who thief in Guyana? Who thief in Guyana election? Nothing about COVID-19. Nothing. We did nothing. We did zero. What would I have done? I would have headed off at the pass. We had 2 months notice. We knew it. Imagine if you home and somebody call you and tell you, watch me, we in March, June I come in and rob you. June 12th, I come about 8 o'clock. Ain't you will be prepared? Or will you go out and come home and freak like somebody breaking the house? Would you have done that? And to the Trinidadians, to the Trinbagonians, love me or hate me, I don't care. My integrity intact. But wake up now, man. Regardless of who's sitting in that blasted chair, hold them to account. Hold them to account. Don't tell me about who dying now when we could have prepared for it 2 months ago. Miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with it. Carnival does nothing for this country but put millions in Mashal and Akin bucket and a bunch of suppliers of tent and stage and shit. Lights and generator, renter amp and all them fellas, Johnny Q. Them just make money. Carnival is a $1 billion net loss to Trinidad and Tobago. It don't put us on the map. Nobody wants to buy the feed. Nobody wants to see it. It's not interesting. We bust Carnival Pan prelims, Pan semifinals. The one fet that you couldn't bust, we bust that. And then Bernadette Blake Morris with her PNM education, who can't answer any of the points I'm making, will say, go take a drink, go take a smoke now, Bernadette, go and climb up on a man. You want a stereotype? Let's be real. We are where we are right now because we keep electing shithounds and incompetent people to office. And we're going to end up with martial law. And we're going to end up with dictatorship. We're going to lose this democracy because of jackasses who want to accept nonsense and defend it and attack people who trying to stand up for this country. Yeah? Think about it. Think about it. We knew in January, and the first time the government addressed the nation was the 16th of March. Because the Progressive Empowerment Party was calling for the people to shut the country down and to break the person-to-person transmission. It is my voice and the PEP that put that into the conversation in Trinidad and Tobago first. That the PNM had to come and run and try to get in front of. Now you tell me if any of this is acceptable. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. The story about the girl who shoulda stay home, who coulda stay home, who woulda stay home, but the human trafficker. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. We laugh at ourselves. We laugh at each other. 57 women missing in this country. One of them at some point woke up with duct tape around her mouth and sea blast from the pirogue. I assume they left by sea. I don't think they put them in containers. That's how they do it in China. But we don't care. The women's movement in this country don't care. 57 women were trafficked. That was announced 4 years ago and not one release. Not one question. Who were they? How were they trafficked? How do you know they were trafficked? Where they gone? What is being done to bring them back? Nothing. The women who will come on this wall and attack. And one day may find themselves facing the same wolf and then say, oh, maybe that's what he was talking about. Those of you who are regular followers of mine, I told you, Suan Guy was talking it before the fact. And don't ask me what I will come to do to clean up after Rowley. Because right now, this is a mess. So yes, we have no choice but to enforce isolation. But nothing else of sense is being done. And the isolation we're enforcing, because we are not taking care of the people, we are going to destroy the economy to the point where everybody in Trinidad and Tobago going to end up working for one of two groups of companies that are both financiers of this PNM. And you will be working for them. And your union will be represented by a lawyer who is also a minister in the PNM government. And you feel that your interest is at heart. You think your interest is what drives it. And you fool yourself into believing that. What I would do now, Trinidad need to undo and redo. Trinidad need to reboot. What I would do now, Trinidad need a reboot, a reset. Trinidad need a wash, a clean down. We need to secure the nation's borders, end the drug trade, move the Port of Spain out of Port of Spain, create a facility so that we can unstuff the containers to end the drug trade, the gun trade, and the human trafficking trade. COVID-19 is a serious issue. There should be a medical professionals committee dealing with it. Not Terence Dial saying he's a pharmaceutical sales rep. Not Stuart Young, he's a writer-letter lawyer. Not Keith Rowley, he's a hole digger to look for water. Not them. But we have medical professionals. Put medical professionals to lead us on this. Take Chagaramas. Take Chagaramas where the army is. Set up down there. Take Carrera Island. Set up where we could put proper facilities. You're using Cora, no problem. Make sure that you take care of your frontline workers with PPE and protection. We're not even doing that. The people who taking care of the nurses, the doctors, the people who changing, the orderlies that emptying the bedpan, they have no glove, they have no mask. I don't want to fight with you. I want you to wake up. We need to stop fighting one another. Not at this level. The fight is not this level. And if we can't find a way, all of us, Suan Guy, you cannot say the past is the past. If you do not learn from the past, you are condemned to relive it over and over. Have you not ever heard that statement? And that's the history of Trinidad and Tobago. 57 years of mismanagement, incompetence, robbery and rape over and over and over. And you're forgetting who? You're forgetting the Arab connection. You're talking about SIS. And you're talking about live sport. Forget that. Let me talk about Calder Hart. Let me forget Calder. We're talking about Ish. Let me forget Ish. We're talking about Johnny O. Let me forget. The past is not the past. Suan Guy, the reason I do this is because I am concerned about people's safety. And I have forced the government to answer to questions. The points that we put out in the public, and I will read it for you. When we said the government is politicizing it, this entire press conference came across like a political stunt. We said Trinidad need real policies to isolate those most at risk. We've written a law to close bars and restaurants, but we've not written a law yet to protect and isolate the at risk. We're not importing ventilators. I've heard nothing about that. Instead of, the entire thing is a stunt and a misdirection, and they come and they throw pixie dust at you. We gonna give Tobago Hotel some money, we gonna fix a road, we gonna dig a well, and people walk away thinking, wow, Heritage and Stabilization Fund, repo rate, and people think that they did something. They've done nothing but tell you, stay home. Send the police outside. If you're not home, run your ass home. Loitering. Liming is illegal in Trinidad and Tobago now. And all I am saying is, it didn't have to come to this. It never had to come to this. And I hope, my friend, that you wake up. I hope you wake up. And stand up for a better country. Because one day, if you are still here, you'll be older. And you'll be looking around and wondering, how and who do I turn to? If you get a symptom tonight and you pick up the phone and you call for an ambulance, you can't get one, you call for and you can't get help, what do you do? What will you do then? There are so many messages in my inbox tonight that I cannot answer that start off with, Mr. Alexander, you were right. Listen to my story. Listen to my wife's story. Listen to my child's story. We just cheered that we send the police in remand yard, lock it down. All the good boys. You hear what we do? Like them and us. They may come from Trinidad. That we don't have a broken nation forcing people to live like that. And the biggest problem is the citizens of this country who own the vote that puts governments in office are not waking up to the power of that vote. But I hope with everything inside me that this coronavirus, I am hoping that we survive it, that we survive without deaths. I am hoping that we survive with our democracy intact. I am hoping that we survive with our economy intact. Because those three things on the line right now. And we could lose our economy and we could lose our democracy. Because people, what's my take on closing the borders? Any of the other members will answer you. That is a PEP policy, the Maritime Security Wall. We have given them the plans since January 2017. Close the borders, secure the nation's borders, close the airport. All of that, we lock in the stable, the horse gone. Anyway, can't fight all the fights in one night. But hopefully, God willing, we come out of this without loss of life, without losing our economy, without losing our democracy. There are people in this country who work for themselves, who have no idea what's going to happen to them. There are people in this country that are messaging me that are working for people who are putting nothing in place to help them. And they are messaging me to ask, who do they turn to? There are people who have symptoms of something that are trying to get somebody to see them, to tell them what they have. But they're being told on a phone, if you haven't traveled, take 2 paracetamol. It cannot be that this is what has become of our country. It cannot be. I refuse to accept it. And you should too. If you all want to make some calls, the last couple of minutes, 682-2110. I'll take some calls live. 682-2110. We got 144 people asked to join the broadcast. I added as many as I could. There are 60 more to be added, and they'll be added between tonight and tomorrow. I apologize for the delay. I asked today, has the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition and all the MPs in the Parliament stood in solidarity with the small man of this country and foregone their salaries? Did the President of the Republic stand up and say, for the duration of COVID-19, I will draw no salary, no perk, no money? Did the Prime Minister say that yet? Did the Leader of the Opposition? Did any of the senators? Did any of the members of Parliament decide to save us the hundreds of millions of dollars that they cost us? But they want us, we in this together. Did Faris Al-Rawi and the Nahus family say they will forego the $100 million on 1 and 3 Alexandra that we don't need? Did they? Better country is possible. The kind of advice you always be giving me. We put off somebody just messaged me. I ate 11 times and took 5 naps, and it's still today. For real, eh? Finding things to do with your time. Busy people. I know it sounds angry, and I am angry. I am angry for all the people who are going to have to suffer through this. I am angry for the long-term loss to the economy. I am angry. Rani Smajan, the United States of America has closed their borders too. Everybody have to stay put now. Stay put. We gotta get past this. Stay put. I haven't seen my parents for a week. And that's real stress for me. I'm not going near them. Mothers call me every day. She's called me every day. She vexed. My father vexed. Crying on the phone. You see nobody. Had to deal with that. Had to deal with that. Hello, good evening. You're live.
Good evening, Mr. Philip.
Good evening.
I mean, it's a sad thing to say. Look, I'm a taxi driver at Hyatt Hotel, right? I mean, there's nothing in place for us. We have to stay home now. Now I'm unemployed. Now I earn US currency because the guests pay us for that. I deposit my money in the bank. Went to the bank to withdraw my own money that I deposit in the bank, and I can't even get it.
Boss, they have a word to describe how bad this situation is, and I don't want to use it now, but it starts to be...
I heard we Prime Minister say that they put things in place for the people that work in the
Everybody asking
hotel.
those questions.
But there's nothing in place. Nobody contact us. I mean, it's crazy.
I watched the Canadian Prime Minister say that they've put things in place even for the homeless and runaways.
I feel like the best Prime Minister in the entire world right now.
Right now, I want to tell you, he's sounding the part. Because you have a responsibility to your people. Anyway, I'm really sorry, my friend. Send me a private message and let me see what I could find out for you, okay?
Okay, no problem, Tom.
Take care. Yeah, and that's the truth. The truth. That's the truth. Something I was going to say to you. And I thought that it was important. But I guess it's not. I had to explain to a young lady. We start off fighting bad and we end up friends. Because I had to explain to her that every responsible ministry in the country has a responsibility to prepare, to anticipate every possible crisis, every possible variation. In the United States of America, the Army does do something called war games. The US military does war games. And they have scenarios where they go to war with England, you know. They have scenarios where they go to war with Canada They have scenarios where they invaded from space. You have to prepare. Forget COVID-19. The same things that we have to put in place, isolation, preparation, management, are the same things for a hurricane that wipes out the country, for an earthquake that wipes out the country. But the Ministry of Health has a responsibility to prepare. We've had MERS, SARS, H1N1, swine flu, bird flu. We have had Ebola. We know that these things, we live in an interconnected world. We know how to identify case 1 came through immigration at 12:15 from New York. We know, follow case 1. Every person, everything he touched. And that's how you do the contact list. We are supposed to know. And what is even worse, what is shockingly bad, is that we knew this was coming. We knew this was coming. So we could have activated the organization. We actually have an organization that is a part of the Ministry of National Security. Listen to the name of this organization. I kid you not. It is the Organization for Disaster Preparedness and Management, ODPM. Its job is to anticipate and prepare for disasters and manage them. There should be models and books, and we can access them worldwide. We can access them. We are signatories to the United Nations and CARPHA and World Health Organization. We could get real-time scenarios, just adjust to your country size. We are supposed to be able to manage these things. We have a National Operations Center that they mothballed. And the National Operations Center was created to link all arms of law enforcement, fire, customs, immigration, public health, for this purpose. For now. So that the ODPM should have been operationalized and the NOC should have been activated and the country given a threat level warning. So we had yellow, we had orange, we had red. We are supposed to have a briefing twice a day. Minister of Communication leads the briefing. Minister of Communication lead the briefing. Good day, nothing to report, but I am here to answer your questions. Boom! The people have no reason to panic. We've heard about a ship. Like you, we in the ministries, we hear all of the rumors. The Minister of Health will be doing a press conference today at 11 o'clock. He will most likely be addressing that rumor if there's any fact in. Boom. So when people shoot you, all them things that you're getting on WhatsApp and all them messages you're getting, the panic is in here, the minister coming at 11. So nobody panics. Panic is an action in the absence of information. So give the people information. How difficult is that? Anyway, we are where we are, what we are. We are who we are, and that won't change until we change it. It is what it is. I said we would take some calls, but like nobody interested in calling, and that's cool. Let's go forward. Each constituency, each member of Parliament's office responsible for the boundaries of his constituency. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, they have security models. They should work together with the ODPM, the members of Parliament, the Minister of Health, the RHAs. You see, if you set up a communication superhighway so that anything that comes up is dropped in that the information is there to be accessed by fire, by ambulance, by Coast Guard. Everybody could read the same updates. So we know where we are. Nothing. They call a press conference every day, leave us speculating press conference at 9, press conference at 10, press conference at 11:30, press conference at 2, whenever. None of the press conferences start on time. None of them have protocols and formats. So it's just government on the hoof, policy by VAPs, and then you coming to defend it. Like if any of this is real. And I understand that you settle for shit for so long. Shit is all you know. But you've been abroad, or you have the internet, or you have cable TV, or you have family who live away. You just see the videos. You know that countries work. You know that. You know that you're living in a world where countries work. Good evening, your life.
Hello?
Good evening, your life. Are you watching me live? If you're listening to me on the phone, they'll have a delay. Listen to me on the device and not on the live.
Sorry about that. This is Chris Fullen from Canada.
Hey,
We're
how
on
you
lockdown
going?
here too.
How you going, buddy?
Good, man. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I have, the level of corruption and the level of oppression that I'm seeing. I want to have, this has been on my mind a lot, and I want to ask the question if you would agree or disagree with this statement. Slavery, in spite of being abolished, it was a business model, right? And it's something that was not done away with, but it was modernized. And what we are experiencing is highly similar to, if not synonymous with, what you know to be modern.
I get the analogy you're trying to make, but I want to tell you something. It's slavery. Slavery was a function of an economic model, you know. People didn't go looking for slaves just to have slaves, you know. People went looking for slaves to get free labor, to remove a cost column from the cost of doing business. If they could have gone and invade Africa and get boxes or cartons or whatever it is their business needed, they'd do that too. It was legitimizing wrongdoing for profit. So the slavery aspect and the slavery analogy, and I get what you're trying to say, but slavery wasn't a thing in and of itself. Slavery was a means to an end, and that end was profit. Unlike apartheid, which was just heinous, slavery was them doing wrong to make money. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, gotcha.
Apartheid was heinous in and of itself. The Jewish programs under the Nazis was heinous in and of itself, because the moment you start to separate and subjugate based on race, that is malum in se. That is one of the two scales of justice, and that means evil in itself. But slavery, but I want to tell you this. I want to flip your analogy around a little bit for you to get you to understand this. Trinidadians have been made tools of a master economic plan, and they don't realize it. That they function as laborers and consumers that are controlled through litigation and taxation. And they don't get that. We feel that we have freedom, but we don't. We don't have freedom. And anytime we think we have freedom, go for a walk and see where you could actually go and be without anybody being able to tell you walk on. But I really appreciate the call. Anything else you'd like to add?
Nope, I am very thank you for taking the call. I know I called a bit late.
No, it's cool. Thanks
help me sort this one out. Thank you.
Take care, buddy. Yeah. We could have a better country. I sound like a stuck record. We could have a better country. Forget the conspiracy theories. Don't turn off your phone at midnight tonight because we're getting radiation and all this stupidness. Forget about the Rothschilds and all that nonsense. We can't touch that. And all that nonsense is meant to distract you from dealing with the issues that you actually can impact. You could impact your day-to-day life. I want you to understand this. You are three things. To this world, you are three things. To your family, you are other things. But to the world and to Trinidad and Tobago, you are labor, consumer, and vote. Those three things are within your power to control if you so desired. But it takes effort to extract yourself from group speak, from the hive, from the herd. We shouldn't be a hive. We shouldn't be a herd. We shouldn't be sheep. We should be people. We should be able to educate ourselves through reading and understanding and setting a path for our lives. Men, women have the same drives. It's been the same for the past 50,000 years. You reach a certain age, you put yourself in a position where you feel you actualize and you're contributing positively to society. You meet a significant other, you get married, you look to raise a family, and you want to live happily ever after, like all the fairy tales say. We're not getting that. We're not getting that. We're being abused and buffeted and pushed around. We're being told what to do. We're being given laws and we said that these are in our best interests and nobody's coming to you to discuss and find out what's your opinion. And they've forgotten. And I'm glad I read that Eric Williams thing tonight. And I wish all of you go and find it and read it, because if that is what the nation was built to be, contrast and compare with what it is. Suan Guy, my number is 682-2110. You could call me, you know. You could call and talk and we will answer you. Small business development, I will tell you our policy on that. I will read it from our policy document for you right now. And we have multiples of small business policies. And these are some of them that will help a small business. No more mega contractors. Decentralize all public developmental and maintenance work to constituencies, with all contractors and employees having to reside within the constituency where projects are located. That means 1/41 of the money that builds and maintains Trinidad and Tobago would come to your constituency and trickle down through your economy. So whatever small business you operate in, there will be people who are making money operating that will be able to give you business. From employee to employer. Startup support for small businesses with demonstrated potential for success. Operational credit to assist with recurring expenses of rent, electricity, and raw materials for approved projects. Monitored by dedicated case officers and designed to achieve profitability in quick time. Regulate the financial sector. Interest to be paid on depositors' funds at rates set by central bank. Abolish all banking fees not compliant with terms of banking license. Open the banking sector to international competition. Cap the spread on foreign exchange. Remove that 13% tax. The difference between... Again, a call. Yes. Hello, good evening, you're live. Hello, good evening, you're live. I don't know if you're hearing me.
Hello.
Hi, good evening, you're hearing me?
I am hearing you. You hearing me?
Yes, you're live.
I just wanted to say congratulations and keep up the good work that the PEP is doing. This is Sal's here.
Hi, Sals. How you going, darling?
How's the baby?
Oh, gosh, she's growing like a weed and she's just too much fun.
Take care of them and take care of all your army, okay?
Thank you for that, of course, absolutely.
All right.
Thanks.
Blessings to everyone.
Thanks for the call, Sals.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Sals and all the other members. Chanadat Beer said, go and sleep as soon as this done. I'm tired. Thank you for seeing it. The difference between the prices of buying and selling foreign exchange, the spread puts an unnecessary 10 to 13% tax on the economy. Capping it to under 3% would save billions of dollars lost to artificial inflation. But, Suan, I don't know if you were asking me about what I would do for small businesses now. And I said this. Actually, I want to find the actual thing that I wrote that they're quoting, because that's just the media version of it. Give me a minute. Sorry, I have 100 billion things open on my desktop. And I want to tell you, Suan, if you're still in Tacarigua, we have good people. We have a whole crew that is the Progressive Empowerment Party. We have an East office in Arima. Maurice Downs, who should be on the thread right now, he could reach out to you. When it comes to small business, Businesses to preserve jobs. Which businesses and how? Why hasn't the state made meaningful concessions to the middle class and small business community by agreeing to pay their rents, mortgages, and utility costs for the duration of the crisis? Together with the banks deferring loan payments, the business community could then simply unplug and reconnect after the crisis is over. Government could also pay a stipend to all workers who businesses cannot hold and employ during the time of zero income. But again, as it is not expected to last more than a few months, this would not break the bank and would rather work to preserve the tax collection net the government needs for more than 40% of its own annual income. Maurice, reach out to Suan Guy and give us some information on a sidebar now, because she's from Tacarigua and she sounds like good people and we need her on board. Yeah, and Suan, my number is 682-2110, or you can private message me on Facebook if you need any more information, and I will be happy to help. Yeah. Yeah. So somebody saying the foreign exchange spread should be 0, not less than 3%. There's actually a justification of why they could do 3%, and it's 3%. It's 3% all across the world, 2.5%, 3% is a good number. There's a cost to transacting it, and you have to give people incentive to trade it so that when you need it, you could get it. So it's a trade-off, but it shouldn't be 13%. That's insane. That puts a 13% tax on everything. Yeah, so I think that'll have to be it for tonight. I will go and grab myself my cup of tea and go and sleep. I'm exhausted. All of you, we are self-isolating. We are social distancing, or whatever name you want to put it. We are trying our endeavor best to break the transmission from person to person and end this. It was mismanaged. It was allowed to run away. The world didn't react fast enough. Trinidad didn't react fast enough. We are where we are, but let us at least learn from it so we don't end up here again. That's the reason to talk about it. That's the reason to not just let it go. I want to say that. I want to sleep, I want to pop my foot, I want to watch TV. They don't be caring about this. Somebody have to care. We have to care. Yeah? Gigi, thanks a lot for that. Yes, I have to put my hands on ginger tea. I still ain't get it yet. We need to pull together as one people under one flag. You pray to who you want to pray to. You sleep with who you want to sleep with at night. None of that is the government business. One people under one flag means that all the people of this country benefit from the same good service from government across the board. That we deconstruct and reconstruct a better Trinidad and Tobago. We shouldn't be fighting each other, not at this level. Kenrick Kwamina, hope you are in lockdown. We all are, sir. My son and I social distance and savagery. Everybody ill. Yeah. Kami Maraj, I like fresh ginger. You know what I love? You know what I absolutely love? Pickled ginger. You know the pickled ginger they get with sushi? And I used to buy bottles of that because any sandwich I'm making, I add in pickled ginger because it's ginger and I love how pickled ginger tastes, and you can't get it nowhere in Trinidad. So anybody at any time coming down here, sending anything down here, and you want to send a couple bottles of pickled ginger for me, I love you for life. Because it's years now I can't get it. Yeah? I was going Starlight Drugs and just put it in little cups and sell it for $10, but I want my bottles again. I like to do the lives and keep them running for the people who want to talk, you know, for the people who, I know that some of y'all under stress. I know that some of y'all may be isolating alone and have nobody to talk to. Talk to me. Talk to me. You can message me. And I just said that. I just said that's where I was going to buy it. Gemma, it's available at South Park in what? The full bottles. I don't want the little cups, you know. I want a full bottle. Pickled ginger is great. I'll send for you. Thank you, Cami. Send it via Felicia Holder. She'll tell you how to send it. When the virus is done, nah, send it now. This food. Yeah. Slice of lemon, turmeric, and ginger for vitamin C boost. The amount of different things all you have me taking. This man, Philip Franco, nearly drowned me with this wash inside of my nose. I know, and some of us are alone. I didn't set up the music to play tonight, you know. I play a song for you all. I didn't think I would be doing that. But I could set it up now. If you want, it'll take me a couple minutes. Or we could stick up until tomorrow, and I'll do a better version tomorrow, and I apologize for not setting up the music because I just really wanted to talk about this issue. People abdicating their responsibility. People abdicating their responsibility as citizens in the democracy, and we can't have that. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hey, Philip.
Good evening.
Good evening. I hear you talking about small business, and before COVID, small business difficult. especially when you're doing business with government. Government has something called a budget. They give people money. They allocate money to different ministries and companies and all of that, right? So they have this money going into the companies that we work with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within the company, they have budgets. Each department have a budget. They know how much money to spend. They know what they want to buy for the year, right?
Right.
Now, they are out for quotation. They are ask for quotation. They go for tender. You do what you have to do to get your bidding, right? Competitively on trying to get the business. The budget have the money up to the time that the person give me the PO.
Right.
But then after that, you have to wait 6 months to get paid.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know that for sure.
But if there's a budget right through till the end, why isn't there funds to pay?
Because they play games. And there's
Yeah.
no accounting. And the Auditor General report is late. And we get it after the fact. So there's no follow-up. Nobody really breathed down their neck. And there's a lot of things that are wrong. There's no timer on it. If you were in the private sector, you could put clauses in the agreement that if you're late with delivery or payment, we could start applying a 1% or a 2% every
And
week.
they don't bother with that, yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you, that we could put those things in place. They do something in the accounts departments via the permanent secretary called a vote, and they put money. And the point is, and what you're saying is correct. If a purchase order is raised, if an invoice is created, if an agreement exists, it should not take so long for you to get paid. That is just stupid.
Right. So there's another model that I heard about where you're talking about business within certain areas and local business, right?
Yeah.
This same budget that the government has, and they have the money, and they allocate the money. And if you know the amount of contractors you have within maybe Tanapuna, right? Couldn't you
Even better.
allocate?
Even better. I want to tell you something. I don't know if you ever heard the Progressive Empowerment Party's model for a budget. But our model for a budget, because we want to replace local government with a constituency board of supervisors. Supervisor for public works, public utilities, education, health, and security.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Right, good. Those supervisors at budget time will put together requests for budgets, for the annual budget, and send them together as one collective for Diego Martin West. And the total might be $800 million. And in that $800 million, a breakdown of things. It's schools to repair, school to build, police post to build, road to repair, pavement to repair, community center, lights to put up, street lights to
Right.
put
So
up.
I have a suggestion for you.
No, I just want to say this there. Right? I just want to say this there. That the Ministry of Finance has to approve the budget based not on the total, but based on the line items that make the total. So when the budget is read, the member of parliament for Diego Martin West or the member of parliament for Tunapuna would stand up and read his or her constituency's approved budget. That to the people of Tunapuna, this is what is budgeted for us, 860 million. This is what we getting. We see those line items.
One have a suggestion, Philip.
Let me just finish this so you understand why I'm telling you that. Those line items, the approved budget sent to the Chancellor of the Exchequer, and he gets that from everybody. And he knows that there are budgeted items to be paid, so he is in anticipation of those things. When you send an invoice for that, it gets paid. If you send an invoice that varies and it is not accompanied by a variation document, he cannot by law pay it. And that will make it work.
Right. Also, our incentive now, if it is contractors within the area, right? You have, let me say, 12 contractors that can do road works, another 5
Preferred contractors, yes.
Electrical, another 5 that can do water and all that kind of thing. Why can't you now, within your budget, say, here what? These contractors that we know that are registered or something, we could allocate pre the tendering process a certain amount of percentages for contractors.
You see the
So
reason?
you have a prepayment.
No, but you see, I want to tell you. No, I want to tell you.
Yeah.
You have to, because Trinidad is such a corrupt country, we have to put things in place that are very stringent and very transparent. But we could say that bills owed by the state, if not paid in 3 months, will attract an interest.
No, this is an incentive for small business people.
Yeah, but you're not wrong. I'm just saying that everything should be based on publicly approved tenders. At very transparent and robust tenders.
No. I'm not saying this person gets a certain amount of money.
Yes,
You
Sam.
group,
Yeah.
you group the contractors and say, all right, here what? This group of contractors have 15% of the budget. And you know you in that group, so you know you have business to get, and you know that you could get a prepayment, and you could plan, and you could come out and do it.
Well, the best I could agree with you on that is mobilization. And you can get a mobilization payment. And the best model to copy is the real estate model, 10% mobilization, 30% on floor, 30% on ceiling, 30% on keys. So you're dealing with the contractor, and the contractor knows how to work his cash flow. That's a good model to follow. But to say that you're going to prepay people, again, Trinidad's a corrupt country, and they're going to have people who are going to take their prepayment and never do the work. So we have a plan around.
You must have some lot against it.
Anyway, you know what? Let me get a chance to sit down and flesh it out and look at it and see what we can make out of that. Yeah?
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Have a good evening. Thanks for calling. Yeah? Sal's, yes, it looks pink. Pickled ginger looks pink. To all the people sending me the hugs and kisses, thanks, but stick a pin in that because my WhatsApp is ridiculous. Yeah? Those of you who have not yet asked how to be added to the WhatsApp, it is 682-2110. WhatsApp me. I'm telling you, I need a name to save your contact. So if you just send me a WhatsApp and it says hello, I'm saving you as hello. Because I need to save you. I have a couple people saved as no name 1, no name 2. But it's stress. Send your name. So I know who I add in. Yeah? And if you want to be on the broadcast, send that. 682-2110. And yeah. So I think we'll call it a wrap tonight. So the video, when people watch it tomorrow, it wouldn't be ridiculously long. Kami, I don't know if there's like exorbitant custom charges, but somebody could bring it down when they come in. It's bottles of ginger. Yeah? So, anything else? Anybody else would like to ask besides the pickled ginger? I think we can move on from that. Anything else? Anybody? Philip, what's your a real pickle? David Tardier, that was as funny as a cry for help. Yeah. So, yes, Cami, have you said this, Cami? Right? Sal's girl, we don't know when next we're doing barrel sales. Felicia told me that today in the finance meeting today. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Yeah, good evening, Philip. Congratulations on your forward thinking to put the country forward. I hope everybody is taking note and seeing who is the real Prime Minister.
You're getting buff? It sounds like you're getting buff. You're getting buff? If he hang up his legs.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, congratulations once again, and just keep up the good work and keep showing them why that is the real government. And thanks for informing us and keeping us in the loop.
Thank you
As
so
to
much.
this.
Thank you so much for the call. Thank you so much for being part.
And you have a good night and try and get some rest.
Thank you, my friend. I hope you don't get too much buff. It sounds like you're gonna get licks. Good night. Good night.
Okay, take care.
Okay. Really sorry you're gonna get some licks. Yeah. How I wish we could just enjoy this country, boy. How I wish we could just get a good government. And no, I don't want it to be me. It doesn't necessarily have to be me. This is not what I wanted to do with my life. This is not what I want to do with this part of my life. And I really, really wish we could have a good, proper country. There are so many good people, you know, they're just afraid. Politics is so stink. It's so nasty. You have to be so angry. You have to open yourself up to so many attacks, and people just not up for that. Anyway, there are some of us idiotic and stupid, and we will. Yes, I'm getting all the messages from all the people. And yes, thank you all for putting your whole name. And don't just give me one name, and I'll tell you why. Because there are a lot of people named Joseph, and there are a lot of people named Shirley. So you can't just put, you know, you have to say your full name. Or a name that you want to, I mean, I'm trying to remember, somebody sent me, you know, people have profile names like Top Shotter and Darky Princess and all that kind of thing. If that is the name you want, you save that, you save that. But we have wow, now they all coming in 1,000,000 to 1. Listen, and all will be added there. Just, you know what is crazy? WhatsApp, you have to save the contact and then add it to the broadcast list. So it takes a time. So we did like 50 at one point today. Politics doesn't have to be nasty, but it is, because it's a country that they are accustomed raping and robbing. I know the front line, the criminal front line of financiers that finance PNM and UNC are right now in Guyana. And while I don't want to inflict this on Guyana, I just wish those sons of bitches could leave Trinidad and Tobago and never look back. They stink and they're dirty, and they've destroyed our country, and we need to fix it. But anyway, we'll stick a pin in that. We'll not get upset. Trust me. My brother Paul is calling. I wonder if he knows that I am live and if he wants to be party live. We are live right now and we're taking calls. So if you're calling in now, nobody's hearing you yet. But if you want to make a contribution, you could. Do you?
I didn't know you were live, but what are you talking about?
We're talking about everything, and we're just going through. We're talking about Trinidad and how to fix Trinidad and the politics and how we ran late. We had such a good... we had a heads up. I read a timeline of how long it took for us to know what was happening in the world, and Trinidad just didn't act on it. And I was upset about that, because a lot of people who telling everybody now that we're supposed to be fighting up to fix the country 2 weeks ago, was whining and jamming on 150,000 strangers from all over the world and didn't care what they was bringing into the country. And I just find that is upsetting and hypocritical. But you can talk about anything, you know. So you don't have to talk about COVID-19, But it's a live show. I'm running it extra long to give people a chance to call in. They have some people who might be self-isolating alone. So Oliver Marin just said, my boss call in. Y'all, he is my big brother by 1 year. So don't... And all your fans, Paul, you have some fans. And they're all saying hi. They're all saying hi. Yeah, he know one thing. He's stupid with everything else. He only know one thing. That is one thing he knows is what he talk to you all about.
No, I know everything.
How
Anyway,
how things going in Canada though? How is it going up by y'all?
not good, as terrible as it is going there. I think mostly the government's just overreacting because this is a failure on all governments in the world healthcare system because of the governments that ran these countries, all countries, including America, Canada, wherever. Everybody was playing and partying and government crooked contracts and everybody getting their kickbacks, and nobody realizes that really the healthcare of a country is the economy of a country.
Indeed. Well, we're learning that now.
And your health, to understand the economic strength of a country, to understand the health of a country, and in this case, we everybody just neglected it, and the sad thing is timing, because had this been at another time when Trinidad, let's say, Trinidad and Tobago didn't have so many aged people, this virus could have come and gone, nobody would have cared, because if this was a young
But you know what I was
society,
thinking? You know what I was thinking today, Paul, and I want to say this. Two cultures blew this up. The Chinese culture of eat what the hell you like, and the Italian culture of how they live. They live in close proximity, multiples of generations in one home, and they're very physical. They're very so that in Italy, young people took it home to their mother and their grandmother out of love.
well,
So, but all I'm saying, and what I wanted to ask you is this. I mean, the interconnectedness of the world now, I think is the problem, because that virus traveled the world too easily.
yes, but what happened, Philip, is this. What you just said is true, but what it, they have a couple layers in it, but everything comes out, it's coming out in drips. But the key here is this. I think I shared with you some data today from Italy, right?
Yes.
Okay. You have two things. I want to talk about the China connection to Italy, but I want you to understand something of 3,200 deaths, because you see, it is the Italy data that the Western is not covering, because that's why I shared it with you, because it is the best data that we have today on COVID and the death. And the data is startling, and the data is clear. The data shows that of 3,200 deaths in Italy, almost 80% came from one area, one village in Italy. So that telling you something. It's something that happened there to cause so many deaths. And was it that place had no hospitals, no healthcare, no ventilators or not enough, etc. So that's one thing. But key is that in those deaths in Italy, over 80%, 90% happen in people 85 years and older. And you have to understand that number. Almost all of the deaths in Italy, the news reporting like Italy gone terrible, everybody dying, almost all were people 85 years and older, and the people had on average 2.5 to 3 comorbid, very grave life-threatening conditions. We're not talking about they had grown toenails or anything.
No, I understand what you're saying. That it was a flashpoint area. That it was all the things that could be wrong, that could have contributed to the exacerbation of this virus existed in that one place.
Yes, and most of the people who were very old, those who died, and most of them had about 3 underlying grave conditions like
people don't want
or diabetes. Importantly, most of them also had hypertension. And why that is important is in the medical community, there's a particular urgent research that's taking place right now, because some preliminary
findings suggest, not conclusive yet, might just be an association, you have to study it, suggests that people who have hypertension and they are on particular antihypertensive drug, it seems that in the environment of this hypertensive drug, remember I just said association, not causal yet, but these people with hypertension, taking this hypertensive drug called ACE inhibitor, they seem to be incurring a bunch of the deaths. So the research community beginning to look going backwards to try, but the data is very difficult to put your hands on. Is it that people who have COVID and in their life they're taking ACE inhibitors, did the ACE inhibitors put them at increased risk of death? And here's the key: older people tend to be on ACE inhibitors because when you're older, you have little cardiovascular issues, hypertension, etc. And your doctors prescribe that like water to old people across the world. That is a fact. Every other old person on an ACE inhibitor. So right now, the medical committee trying to see if they could get the data or get data of everybody to see what is your background, because if that is true, could it be as simple as switching the ACE inhibitor, meaning putting those elderly people on another kind of antihypertensive? So that's something that's going on right now urgently. Everybody, big agencies and big countries trying to sort that data out and get their hands on it. But you need to understand something really about China. This is very important. If you look at our data today, I think one of the region with the biggest hit was a region in Italy called Lombardy. And the reason why I joined that to your attention is this. In the last little while, China is really the nerve center for this problem. What China has done over the last 5 years to 8 years is China has been lending a lot of countries money.
Belt and Road. Yeah, it's called Belt and Road Initiative.
Exactly. That initiative to build airports, to build bridges, to build
Yeah, because it's not real money. China just trying to exchange leveraging credit globally because they are a superpower. So they leveraging credit between John and Jim, but they put in both John and Jim at risk so they could come and seize John and Jim's real assets.
Yes, because this is about real hedge money.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's an empire building. Empire building, yeah.
Right. And what has happened is when you default on your money, they come and take the assets. Exactly what you just said. But here's the key. That place in Italy called Lombardy with the most debt, that place had a port or something that China had given them the money to build. And I think China took possession of it or something. That place had a flood of Chinese workers for the last years. That's the reason.
And you see all of that information not coming out. And I wanted to ask you, because when you contrast the numbers and you look at Germany got 22,000 cases, but only 84 deaths. Austria got 2,992 cases, they only had 8 deaths. But Italy, and that's the thing, Iran and Spain and Italy and China.
Same problem. China prostitute them too. All of them, Iran, a lot of Chinese workers in Iran.
Right. So that's why, I know Trump doesn't have the best way of saying what he wants to say.
It's a Chinese virus.
But China have to account to the world for what China did. This is the nation of China.
Yeah.
And I think that the nation of China have to answer to the world, and the nation of China have to make restitution for all of this. But we're not there yet because we have to put this genie back in the bottle.
Yes. And a lot of countries, if we don't get our act together, we can wake up. We can't stay in this shutdown and this way. People people going to lose their livelihoods.
They are destroying economies and people not understanding that we will come out of this and then there will be no economy. And Trinidad is in a bad, bad place.
Yes. Philip, it's a simple thing here. South Korea is the test model and the test case. South Korea have a population of 50 million people. Yet South Korea only had 9,000 cases and less than 100 deaths.
They got 104 deaths. They had 8,897 cases as of today. And I have that facts and figures in front of me, but you're right.
Good. Good. And why? They shut their borders to China quickly. Just like what Trump, you have to understand something. America would have been on its knees. Trump, before even the WHO declared it a pandemic, shut the borders to China. And they all ran around, everybody calling him a racist, anti-China.
He should have shut to Europe. He should have shut it to Europe earlier too. Because he didn't, I'm sure like everybody else, they didn't realize the second hand that was coming from France, Spain, Italy, and Iran. So he was shutting it to China, but he was getting it second hand from those countries. Look, it is what it is, but I have told people after this 14 days here, they've put out some release that this is going to run for the next 8 months, or Trinidad will not survive.
America wouldn't survive 2 months on this. Look at our large economy. The people you can't lock
Psychologically, you are going to hurt people with this. This is not a normal situation. And we cannot abdicate to governments and trust that they know what they're doing. When I watch Al Jazeera and BBC and the 24-hour news cycle and the panic that they're fueling without giving actual numbers and without giving... Huh?
It's the media.
But you see, I don't have to blame the media yet. Because... okay, I'm not saying no, but what I'm saying to you is the media have their own agenda. And one of those agendas is to stay relevant in a social media world. And right now, this COVID-19 has given the media a shot of life. Because people turn into media to get information. But that's not going to run for much longer. That's not going to run for much longer.
Let me tell you what happened here. This is very simple now.
Gemma just sent a tell if this made in China, don't worry, Chinese products don't last long.
No, Chinese products is inferior product, right? Cheaper but inferior. But
She
anyway,
was
that's
making a
my
joke,
view.
She was making a joke.
No, listen, Philip. I just talking here as a proof, man.
Yes, of
I don't
course.
know where you-
Of course. Nobody...
I'm talking as a
Yes, we
as
know.
anybody who advocate, but here's what happened here. What happened here was simple. Trump or leaders of respective countries should have come to their people with one news broadcast and say a simple thing. Listen, there's a very infectious microbe that came out of China, which is a fact, and highly infectious, but not lethal. It is highly infectious because it wants to live. It doesn't want to kill the host. That's why I know it's not lethal, because of the infectivity of this particular microbe. Else it will have wiped everybody out. It doesn't want to do that. However, it is unfortunate that it came through now when our age structure is so old. We have a lot of old people in our society. And you know what? All these last decades, we've been partying and embezzling the people's taxpayer money. We was not fixing the healthcare system and supporting it the way it should have been. So now, we have this infectious microbe that really is very mild, would normally move through and you wouldn't even know. But it's bumping up against some older people.
But people don't want to hear you say that. They are so panicked. Trinidadians especially have abdicated critical thinking. So they don't even want to have a conversation. They've gotten to the point where they've buried their heads in the sand. All they want to do is say, give us a state of emergency, lock the country down, don't let nobody touch nobody, and it will go away. But you can't treat with any virus that way.
No. That's a dangerous thing to do. Because remember, if you don't let the society confront it, if it's not a lethal thing like a airborne Ebola or something that have a very high mortality rate, if it's not that, and it's just a matter of infectivity, but then society bump up against it and become exposed, become infected, and develop their own immunities and develop their own immunity. And that's how you protect the weak.
Paul, I want to tell you something, 307,000 cases, 13,000 deaths. That tells you something. Of those 307,000 cases, I want to tell you how much are active cases right now. Right now, of those 307,000 cases, the active cases in the world are 198,000 active cases. But they've only been 13,000 deaths. And any death is a bad death. For the jackasses who are going to say only, and they'll jump on any bandwagon. But the point I want to make to you, of those 13,000 deaths, 3,000 is China, 5,000 is Italy, that's 8,000, 1,300 from Spain, 9,300, 1,500 from Iran, that is 10,800, 500 from France. So that's 11,200 of the 13,000 deaths. 11,000 of the deaths are in 4 countries.
Yes.
And they fucking panic the whole world.
Yes, and more importantly, Philip, two facts, too quickly. One, the denominator that they're using to skew the mortality rate is highly incorrect. And the people in the public health agencies and globally have done a disservice, and it's actually a fraudulent piece of information, and they know it, and they're still doing it. The denominator cannot only be the lab confirmed cases. It has to be everybody who was at risk. So like you and me, who probably got it already.
All right, so you and I spoke about this. How soon before there is an ease of test to see if it passed through your system? How soon before there's an antibody test? Right now they're still looking for genetic markers. How soon? Right now the test is a genetic marker test. How soon before there is an antibody test to be able to tell if you had coronavirus, COVID-19 in your system and it was defeated?
I can't answer that question.
But that is an important test, because what you just said is factual. If there are 307,720 cases that go from mild to severe, because those are the cases that they're tracking. But you know that there are other cases less than mild. There are other cases that didn't make it on the radar. Huh?
If they put in millions below the denominator, the mortality rate will fall to like 0.2%, and they know it. But they're not doing it, and that is the lie on all of this. Because they're scaring the people by getting it.
They're not scaring her, boy. This country panicked, boy. This country panicked. Trinidadians have gone stupid mad in their heads.
All this needed was the leader of countries.
Leadership.
Come to the podium and say one thing. Listen, you see the age amongst you, especially the age with comorbid conditions, we need to be careful with them. Let them stay indoors a little bit. Don't interfere with them. Let them take some precautions. Other than that, the rest of the society, go ahead with your life as normal, go to school.
No, but they made it out to be that they're gonna kill you.
It's a disaster now. It's a disaster, because how are you gonna turn it back around?
No, because watch me. The response to the virus worse than the virus.
Yes, Philip, there are 500,000 deaths a year. Half of 1,000,000 I hear from influenza. Normal season.
Do you know what I hear that? They've already wired them to respond to, don't compare this to the flu. That's killing people.
This is the flu.
I know that.
This is the flu.
I know it is the flu, Paul, but what I'm
That's why
saying,
kids-
you have to go up against the whole media complex and get them to back off that rhetoric.
Yes.
If you get them to back off that rhetoric, because listen, Germany has 22,000 cases of COVID-19 right now. But if I go and search to find out how much cases of flu Germany has right now, that will be a bigger number.
Let me explain to you the insanity. When the president of the States come every day to talk, they might have 2 more deaths in the whole of America between the day before and when he
Of the world population,
People died.
of the world population of 7.75 billion people, 13,000 people died from a virus. And 11,200 of those 13,000 people died as a direct result and as a direct connection to China. China, Italy, Iran, Spain, and France. France being the least with 552. The rest of the world economies have taken a hit that will take us a decade to recover from because jackasses have, listen, they've taken...
You know what this is? You have to let me say it. This is because of one problem only. Leaders of each country realize that they're elected quickly and they have something that they both share in common. And they realize between them, if any deaths occur on my watch, I will be unelected. So they realize that this highly infectious disease, the pathogen, affects the elderly like the normal pathogen do more. But they realize too, they know a secret. The secret is our healthcare system can't support the cases. So we need now to lock everybody ass down through the whole society when all we needed to do was tell everybody that mild infection coming through, take care of the elderly, go about your life as normal, wash your hands, we will upgrade the health system, case closed, to get some ventilators, but they know they don't have the infrastructure. So now they have to jump each society and make everybody pay for their incompetence all the decades before. The health systems have failed. It's a public health failure. When all these health people come and talking, people have to stand up and say, but this was your job.
Correct.
You the one to plan for this.
Correct. That's what I was saying tonight. That the models were not there. Listen, 108,000 people are going to die this year from the flu. 108,000. We've had COVID for a quarter, 4 months. So 4 into 108,000. That will tell you 28,000 people will die in a quarter from the flu when 13,000 died from COVID. But I want to say again, those 11,200 was China, Iran, Italy, and Spain, and France. And those have a China connection. This is a China problem. And we, in the rest of the world, Oliver Marin just said, Paul, come home, Philip will be your deputy. We waiting. Paul is my Minister of Health. Listen, we...
You're talking shit.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't know the kind of shit. You come on the live and you're talking good, so they want to make you the Prime Minister. That's them.
No, listen, I sit down in the living room here and I get so outraged that they go to, listen, America's economy had written going into a depression, not a recession, you know. So Trump had a place, he had to stand up soon and say, stop, enough is enough. This is madness. Open everything back up and let's get to it.
Well, the only way he's gonna be able to do that now is martial law, you know. So if he's smart, he will let them trap themselves. He will give them rope to hang themselves so that they will make it so scary to the American people that the American people will understand if he declares martial law. And if he declares martial law, he could declare martial law on everything. He could stop bank interest. He could stop debt payment. He could stop everything. Martial law is a serious thing, right? And you could reboot. And that's what might be coming. If the United States of America declares martial law and stops its economy, it will destroy economies around the world, including Trinidad and Tobago.
Of course. So this is what we panicking and watching. We're watching a set of madness here.
186,000 people will die from water-related diseases this year.
Yes. Everything, you know what? People beginning to wake up.
29,000 people died of hunger today.
Right.
Today.
Yes.
29,000 people died of hunger today.
Yes, yes. The media has found something in America to damage the economy, damage the electoral system.
To damage Trump. To damage
And
Trump.
they're not letting it go. Yeah, because if the society becomes ungovernable and unmanageable, he will be blamed. There's no way he could win this other than going along right now. I am arguing that very soon you will have to stand up and say this is enough shit. Everybody get back to
So
work.
then why is the why they not calling an emergency session of the United Nations? Why is this not being debated there? Why was it allowed to spin out of control? Why is nobody standing up and saying, if 11,200 of the 13,000 deaths as of today are in 5 countries, China, Italy, Spain, Iran, and France, that is the problem.
Because everybody part of the crap. It was known as an influenza virus in the beginning. And those are the same people you just called who changed the name to something so that the average Joe on the street wouldn't realize and connect. This is a regular seasonal influenza. You think it is some kind of disease thing come down here? No. This is an influenza virus.
So I want to ask you a question. Right? On January 30th, 2020, 1 month to the day when Chinese health officials informed the World Health Organization about 41 patients with pneumonia connected to the seafood wholesale market in Hunan, almost 1 month to the day, did the World Health, when they put Wuhan under quarantine, why did they declare a global public health emergency?
Why?
Somebody said to me at the start that the World Health Organization dropped the ball on H1N1 and this is an overcorrection early on, that they were trying to legitimize and get back credibility. You could comment on that?
No.
Okay, cool. Sorry. But I wanna tell you, though. I wanna tell you. January 30, 2020
Yes.
is when the day after President Trump bans foreign nationals from entering the United States if they were to China within prior 2 weeks. He took his own action. He wasn't dealing with it from their perspective.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he was chastised for it. He was, all nations in the world call him a racist, blah, 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 blah. I remember I was reading the news, and he took action. If he didn't take that action then, America would be inundated with cases. So, you had to give him props where it is due. That's my point. Both nations behind the ball. However, anyway, the sad reality now, this is a political game. Everybody plays. And I am sorry, they have a lot of people in society who will try and make money out of this. Look, Trinidad is such a corrupt place. I'm born and grew up there. Do you know if this government tried to make the move to get ventilators? Let's say, do you know any corrupt business contracts going to take place and friends and buddies going to get contracts?
But man, we bought Ebola hazmat suits in Trinidad and Tobago for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The same suits you could have buy on Amazon.com for $1,000.
Yes. So this is a money-making venture. People already starting to figure out how to make money and steal money from this. This is the sad thing about all of this. In all this suffering. You know, I don't know, we had to step back and see if they have any good honest people playing words and trying to wrap this situation. But the world cannot go on a month more like this. No way, no, I can't see the United States.
Yeah, but you and I are not the only people who have this information. You understand what I'm saying?
I know.
And at some point, the media have to get behind the 8 ball here because they will lose all remaining credibility. I am watching Al Jazeera recycling the same tired video over and over, and I'm saying we are not handling the virus how we're supposed to be handling it, and we still And I said this, if it was as bad as they made it out to be, between December 31st and now, a normal graph for that level of infection, 1 billion people should have this virus by now. And they don't.
Yes.
It is still 307,000 people.
But it's not matter if you have the virus or not. You have to understand something. Before, nobody knew it was around. And yes, when it read it here in China, all of these cases you're hearing about countries reporting is because now people alerted and sensitive to it and getting tested. This virus was around before. Most of us already are immune to it. We already got COVID, so if I guarantee you that you, me, we have it, we got it, and we're immune, we have antibodies, we didn't succumb to it because it is not that.
They're telling Africa to brace. They're telling Africa to brace, but the African countries have single digit.
But remember, you're talking about Africa.
And if Trinidad and Trinidadians wasn't so blasted irresponsible, we get 40 people from 68 people on a cruise ship that went on a cruise in March. I don't want to say what I really want to say about those people who so irresponsible, but I would have leave their ass on that ship. Trinidad wouldn't have, and if all of our people were imported, all our cases were imported, they should have closed the airport before. Suriname, Aruba, St. Martin, Bahamas, New Caledonia, Cayman Islands, these are 5, 4, and 3 cases. These are countries that rely on tourism. Look at none of them. Look at single digit numbers. If you take the clusterfuck that is China, Italy, Spain, France, and Iran, and that whole Chinese Wuhan connection out of this graph, the actual deaths from coronavirus of the 307,000 active cases is less than 2,000 people.
Yes, and yes, exactly, you're 100% right. It's one little statistic I'm going to remind you, a little piece of data. In that Italian data I shared with you today, there's a line in there that says, of the 3,200 deaths, there were 9 of them that were under 40 years old. So that had leaked out of Italy some time ago, a couple of weeks, when the media started to say, oh my God, it looked like killing young people. But today, now when you look at that data I shared with you, it shows that those 9 people who died under 40 years old had severe underlying illnesses that would have killed them, not COVID. They were gravely ill people.
The 21-year-old footballer who died, it's either he either had AIDS or leukemia. It's one of those two things.
Yes, he had leukemia. He was on immunosuppressants and stuff. He's a vulnerable person. He's the same category as an 85-year-old comorbid condition elderly individual. His immune system compromised. So when the media first story about this young, strong footballer died, it shocked everybody. But then everything is coming out. The media is playing.
Yeah, but you know what pissing me off, Paul? You know what pissing me off? This is what's pissing me off. People have data. People have access to data and ignoring it.
Yes, exactly. Because
You have access to data, man. Come on. This is not mystery. This is not a mystery. We have the numbers. We're tracking it in real time all around the world. They actually have a company in the States right now that have an app could tell you how many people on the planet have a fever. Oh, Christ. Theresa Marquez, the common thread among these countries is the Chinese influence in contracts on their territory. Iran, Italy, Spain, France. Belt and Road. Belt and Road Initiative brought you COVID-19 from Wuhan. Belt and Road.
Exactly. Yes.
Hi, brother.
All right.
We'll-
I'll talk to you later.
Later. I want you to know, My parents had 5 children. My eldest sister died. You hear how me and my brother just had a conversation? Our whole family. My father, a topic and an issue, we research it to death. We will come at you with fact after fact. We've been debating since we toddlers. We've learned to question everything. Take nothing on face value. So of course Santa Claus didn't last long in our house. We live in a world, somebody posted, where a black woman is going to work 3 jobs to give her children Christmas presents for them to thank a fat old white man. There are so many layers of insanity, inhumanity, but we can't touch that because we have to ask ourselves, is it intelligence and critical thinking a minority in this world? Are we doomed to live at the mercy of the insipid and the feeble-minded and the lazy thinker? The person who will just accept. Because I'm telling you, they could bring 14 Ramesh, and it's only because this country and the justice system and our laws, I mean, this country is such shit that people who put themselves in harm's way could hire a lawyer. I'm not going in that conversation. But I would have turned that ship if I was prime minister. You make that choice. I would have turned that ship into your hospital. You're not coming off till all 68 well. Not coming off. I will quarantine you on your ship. You're not coming off. I will send you food and we will send medical expertise. And brother, you're not coming off. You're not coming off. We cannot continue to run this country as if shit was sugar. We cannot. We cannot. We cannot. We cannot. You cannot continue to accept mismanagement, incompetence, theft, corruption, and bullshit and keep making excuses. We cannot. You have a responsibility, if not to yourself, to your children. You have that responsibility. You are going to grow old and die if you're lucky. If you're lucky to have a full long life. But you have to leave a better world for your children. That is the social contract. Now that I know of the China connection to Italy, it's clear. It's clear. Coronavirus is contagious. All coronaviruses are contagious. COVID-19, highly contagious. Targets those with compromised immune system and people in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Isolate the old people. Take it on your chest. Work it out. This is the society of the 13,000 people that have died from COVID-19. 11,200 was China, Italy, Spain, Iran, France. The rest of the whole world is less than 2,000 people. Now you tell me tonight, we fucked the world economy. You tell me, right now, tonight, there are people in this country who have lost their life savings, who don't know how they're going to survive this piece of bullshit. Many people. We start off with 700,000 people under the poverty line. What are we going to do now? What? We have so many lazy thinkers in this country that we've put up sinks and pipes and this, and I had to ask, 500 people get murdered in this country every year. 500 people get murdered in this country every year. And we know the solution to that, and we don't do that. We just spent $2.75 billion, $2,750 million on a knee-jerk reaction. by a government who has no idea what it is doing, and a people who are so silly that we are calling for a state of emergency. Please, take our freedoms. Please, martial law. This entire thing has been mismanaged from the start, and it has spun out of control. But I want to tell you, and you have to hear this, that data will drown them. It will hang them. The United States of America is the wild card here. They're not taking that. America is going to make China pay for this. And line yourself up behind Trump. He may be an asshole, but he is the asshole that the world needs. We just get from Wuhan, courtesy Belt and Road, murder by coronavirus, COVID-19. China is liable to the entire world. And to all the people who abdicate critical thinking, all the lazy minds, change that. Change that. The capital city smells of piss because you don't know how to ask a question. And you abdicate responsibility to people who buy their way into public office. So you lose, and then you lose again. This is like a game of poker where all the cards face up and somebody else in charge of betting your money. You can't win. But tonight, you heard an exchange. I don't care what they call Trump. I think Obama was an asshole. I think Obama killed too many people. And he was black. I love you for being black, Barack. But that is not enough. You killed too many people in the world. And I'm going to measure American presidents by how many people they kill. But I'm not in America. I have to deal with the asses here. You all deal with all your own. In Trinidad and Tobago, we here, we've allowed every single time. This is Petrotrin all over again. We sit down as a nation and watch a government shut down Petrotrin and didn't stand up as a people and fire their ass. We still don't know tonight what's going on with Petrotrin. That is the biggest theft in this country's history, right ahead of Clico and the $20 billion for Clico. Theft. Theft. Malcolm Jones, ultra low sulfur diesel plant and gas to liquids. Theft. Theft. Desalination plant. You let them con you into building a desalination plant in a country that has 100,000 times the rain it could ever need. And we are paying a premium price for nutrition void desalinated water. This is a shit show. This country is a rat hole. It is only the criminals winning. The government criminals working for the white-collar criminals, giving contracts to the gang criminals, and you who catching your ass to keep the wheels on the ground, paying taxes, paying fines, paying levies, and you in trouble every turn you turn. And you okay with that? You have one good last chance. Because I am putting all of it on the line. You want a better country? Vote yourself a prime minister that will fix all of it. You don't want that? Tread water. I have no problem with that. I'm going to tell you this, the best thing that could happen to me, the absolute best thing, because I put myself in this, And I had to see this through. But the best thing that could happen to me is I lose that election. Because that is going to be an even bigger shit show to come. They've borrowed money to thief. Now, they don't know how to come out of this. So I watch it. Now that I have data, 8 more days. In 8 more days, all your stunt you want to stunt. Explain to the people why you let the ship dock. Why you let dock? You don't have nowhere to put them. You take them off a cruise ship and you take them to Balandra. Leave them on the ship. 68 people. Anthony said in that statement, boy, that they're fighting me down to defend the PNM. The people who are doing that is a shrinking minority, and that's why I blocked them. And I tell the PEP members to block them so they don't have no voice. We are the 800-pound gorilla on social media. And I take my step back, I step back and I let them run. But I knew this was a con job. And it is time now to fix it. We're doing this real long tonight. This has been a very long video. But it's very informative. It's up to you if you share it or not. But you have information. Share it. Let people join in the conversation. We need one to the other to tell each other over the wall by the water cooler. Call them on the phone. Send them an email. WhatsApp them. Listen, man. We could have a better country. Wake up. It's up to us. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago. Tomorrow is another day.